Can you tell me, how would you describe your artistic journey?
Messy. I'm sorry.
Did you say messy?
I said messy.
All right.
Welcome to the Monique on the Mic podcast. This is episode number 4, and I am your host, Monique B. Thomas. Today is a very special episode for me because I am doing my very first interview, and I'm bringing to you a special artist whom I met a while ago. She's going to be sharing her story of resilience and healing. So I met Laura about 8 to 10 years ago when I was directing the choir for Chemin Badi in France. And it was a gospel group, and there were a whole bunch of different gospel groups, and she was singing with another group. And I just remember that this powerhouse French singer blew me away. I mean, she blew me away with her accent, but she really blew me away with her vocal chops and her heart. She sounded authentically American to me. And I'll never forget her because I hadn't heard anybody sing gospel like that since I'd been in France. And it's interesting because I didn't see her again for many, many years until we started working together singing for Andre Ria's gospel choir. Please give a very, very warm welcome to Laura Nanou. Welcome, Laura.
Hello, thank you.
How are you, Laura?
I'm good. How are you?
I am glad that you are here because I've been wanting to talk to you about so many things. I've found that you've been such a fascinating person to watch on tour. And so I'm glad that you've given me some time so I can sit down and pick your brain about a couple things, okay?
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
So I want to talk about your origins because I think when you look at anything, you've got to look at the root, right? You've got to know where people and where things come from in order to understand things. And I think your origins are fascinating. So tell me a little bit about your origins.
Well, I was born in France, in Lyon, and my parents come from Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, in West Africa. Mm-hmm. They've been here for 40 years.
Okay.
So I've been raised between the two cultures. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I think it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have to know different culture in the same home.
Okay. How so? That's interesting. Tell me a little bit more about that.
You learn different values because when you go to school with other French people, you learn the values of the Republic, blah blah blah.
the Republic, right? Okay.
Yeah. And knowing the values of my ancestors, of respect, of love, of generosity, of resilience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, resilience.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that because that word is on my list of things I wanted to talk to you about. Okay.
So I think it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Just a blessing.
The reason why I really wanted to talk about your origins, because while you are, you're born in France, but you're also raised in an African home, you sing a lot in English.
Yes.
And your English is really good, but I noticed that you have not only just the English accent when you sing, but also a style that's highly characterized by what I know to be American music, notably gospel, soul, R&B. Tell me about that.
Well, my parents were musicians, and they listen a lot to Black music in general, from Africa, and from different countries of Africa, and from America, and Jamaica.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All the Caribbeans actually, and my mom was a fan of Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey.
Okay.
So she bought all their albums, and I fell in love with this language while I was falling in love with this voice, with the voice.
Oh, yeah.
And my father was a reggae musician.
Okay.
So I really learned about Jamaican music too. So I'm trying to mix that in my music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can hear it. You can hear that there's a rich culture of music. It's multifaceted, which is very interesting. What did your mom do?
My mom was a singer, but she sang in a choir at church.
Okay.
And but to pay the bills, she was working in how can I say this? Corporate restoration. Yes.
Corporate
restaurants.
Corporate restaurants. Okay, gotcha.
And she did a lot of things. She was a cleaner. She
paid the bill. She got it done.
Oh yes, she did.
Okay, that's what mamas do.
Yeah, that's what she did. And I'm really grateful because we never missed a thing.
Right, you never needed for anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was going to a private school.
Okay.
A private Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dressed.
Right. And you still are, I might add. Yeah. That's right. Right.
Gotta do what we gotta do.
You gotta do what we gotta do. But that's interesting because that leads me actually to the thing I wanted to talk about that you mentioned earlier is resilience. What does this mean to you and how has this been a part of your life?
Well, it means that I know that my roots are actually my roots are solid.
Mm-hmm.
But in this society, I know that my roots can be an obstacle to achieve what I want to. And resilience means that no matter what you face in life, you gotta stay strong.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta keep going.
Yeah.
Because there would never be a better you than you.
That's for sure.
So, and we all deserve to be on this earth.
Yes.
And so I just keep going.
You just keep going no matter what.
Yeah. Sometimes you just take a little break. You cry. Mm-hmm. You complain, you cry. Oh, Mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Mama.
Hey, what they did to me. They were so mean at school. They were so mean at work.
Yeah.
And then
you get back up and you go do what
you pray, you get back up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, speaking about resilience, everybody knows that the artistic journey is not always easy. It's a winding road rather than a straight road. Can you tell me, how would you describe your artistic journey?
Messy. I'm sorry.
Did you say messy?
I said messy.
All right.
Yeah. You want me to start from?
Well, just how you felt about with the journey, not necessarily the individual events.
Okay.
But, emotionally, how you felt and mentally getting through the different obstacles.
Well, I felt a lot misunderstood sometimes. And I felt I was not enough.
Okay.
I felt that I was not in the right place because actually I don't fit anywhere.
Mm.
I'm in my own lane. Actually, it took me a lot of time to understand that I am in my own lane, and so I fit everywhere because there's only one me. So
yeah.
So if you want to put me in a box, right? But it's my box.
Right. Yeah.
The box that I'm creating, that I've been creating, and I'm still creating. And what can I say? It's just it's hard. It's hard, but it's rewarding.
Mm.
It's rewarding, and some people might think that the growl is be on tour on TV and be famous, but sometimes it's just one DM from a fan that says, "Wow, your song helped me a lot through when I was in a bad bad place.
Yeah.
That's rewarding because that shows me that I'm doing the right thing, and it's necessary, I think.
Yeah.
For them and for me, we all need to hear from something, and
yeah,
and that's what I do to hear.
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting thing because there's billions of people on the planet. And I don't believe there's anything really new under the sun. I think a lot of the messages we hear are the same. But I think that somebody somewhere needs to hear that message from your particular voice. There's something about the way you particularly can deliver a message that will speak to maybe only one person on the planet. And it's like, if I'm able to reach that one person, I've done my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's precious. And I think that owning that I think it's a responsibility because the gifts that are given to us aren't given to other people. They have other gifts. You're giving a particular gift, you know, that it's wrapped in a package that only you could come in. So it's like, I kind of feel like by doing this thing that you were gifted to do, it's almost like a form of obedience. That might seem really weird, but it's like there's this higher calling and it's like you've got to answer that call. So by answering that call, you are now permitting somebody somewhere on the other side of the earth maybe to feel just a little bit better for maybe 5 minutes. And then it becomes worth it. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. Well, speaking about things being difficult and sort of a journey and coming through it, I want to talk about your project. So I've had the pleasure of being on tour with Laura and being with her when her last single called Healing came out in September. So I want you to tell me about this, how this song came about and what it means to you.
Well, this song was, in the beginning, it was an order from an editor.
Okay.
And they asked me to do a song. They tried to do something with the song and it didn't work. And they asked me to do a song for yesterday.
Like, when do you need it? Yesterday. Oh,
I was like, okay, let's try something. And I think I was really starting my journey at this time, and the lyrics came very fast. So I recorded it. I sent it back, and they were like, okay.
Didn't you say something like, I don't know if it was 12 or 20 minutes you wrote the song?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it was easy because, you know, I know my gift doesn't come from anywhere. It comes from a source, and sometimes the source speaks to you really clear. And you don't have to search a lot for your answers. Sometimes you just take your pen and you write. The song writes itself, literally.
So would you say then you're almost like the messenger?
I am. I think I'm just a channel.
A channel, okay.
Yes.
Okay, for something greater. Okay.
I think I'm just a channel because, and that's why that's what I say in the song, because I'm like, I'm letting love taking control of my fate and my acts and my decisions and the words that I write. So I could, sometimes you hear a lot of things in the news that are really pissing us off.
Yep.
For real. And I know I could write a song to say, go beep the
beep, 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 beep,
beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, yourself. And yourself.
Yeah, not me, but you.
You, especially you, and only you. And but I know that this gift wasn't offered to me
to be angry and just mean or whatever.
I don't want to be angry. Even when I'm angry about a heartbreak, I try to write it as a lesson. like, okay, I have another song. It's not coming out yet, but it's called Cry No More.
Ooh.
And I was in a very, very bad place. I just learned that the guy I was saying for 6 years had a family and blah, blah, blah.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, okay.
Wow.
Okay, so you did that. Cool.
Okay.
You feel good this way? It's easy for you to sleep at night? Okay. But you know what? You're not worth my tears. So I'm going to cry no more.
Oh, yes. Well, we got to make sure that we have you back on the show when that comes out.
So before we move on to the next part of the interview, I want to make sure to give you a chance to listen to a bit of the song, just a little snippet. It's a total bop, and I really feel like it's a wonderful anthem to help you get through those tough times. I'll make sure to put in the show notes all the places that you can listen to it. I know you can listen to it on Spotify, but knowing Laura, there's lots of other places where you can listen to it too. Enjoy.
It makes me want to be myself every day and let love take control all the way. Free from fear of failing my destiny. I can see it clearly now. Show me the way. It's within, it's not out, that I found that my flaws and my fears are part of me. Let it go, it's the key to my soul. Remedy, take control of my life. It's part of my healing. Better days are coming. I gotta feel brighter days are coming. I gotta feel.
So this journey, you've been on it for a while, and lots of ups and downs, I'm sure. But are there any things that you regret on this journey?
Oh yes. I regret not believing myself earlier. Yeah, I think that's my biggest regret, because I have songs. I have a lot of songs waiting to be released. But I was like, no, they're not perfect. I know blah, blah, blah. And now I'm not even in the same state of mind. So I'm like, is it is it worth it to release them now?
Yeah.
And you know what? Somehow I stumbled on one of my old videos from 5 years ago. I was opening for an artist, Kid Ismail. That was the first time ever that I was performing my own songs in front of a crowd, just with a piano.
Were you playing piano too?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And I was
That's naked.
Yeah, I was naked in front of 900 people, and I didn't want to post the videos.
Okay.
They're all in private in my YouTube channel.
Wow.
And I stumbled on them 2 or 3 days ago, and I was like, "What? Why didn't I post
them out?
Yeah." And so I think I'm doing this. It's 5 years later,
Right?
but I think it. Even if the songs are not out, even if they are not on the next EP,
Right.
I think we. I want to show compassion to the Laura of 2018.
Okay.
And by the words that I'm singing, I want to give love to people. So I think I would just put them out.
You know, that speaks to intention, because earlier you said that, you know, you're a vessel, you're this messenger that relays a message. But we get in our own way when we're supposed to be relaying a message, but then we're sort of judging the messenger. And it's like, but what's the purpose of what you're doing? You're not supposed to judge the messenger. And at the same time, we do as artists have to have what I call a minimum of what we think is, you know, quality. Like, it's like below that, you're like, no, nobody can hear that. We do have to. I mean, we have to have standards. But it is hard finding that middle ground between having high standards and waiting for things to be so perfect that you never put out anything. And I've totally been a victim of that. There's things that I've put out, but I didn't promote. And then I listen back and I'm like, oh my God, you're so stupid. Like, the intention was there. And yeah, I sing better than I did back then, but all the ingredients were there. I could have spoken to somebody, you know? So I'm hopefully, we're going to get some new YouTube videos from you soon.
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure that I'll put your YouTube information in the notes for this, the description of this podcast, because the truth is, and we forget this when we're artists, people love behind the scenes. When we start following an artist, I know me personally, if I start liking an artist, I want to listen to everything they've done. And the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, because I want to know who that person is. And we can't really know who an artist is from one snapshot, or from just like, especially from an album. Like, it's great to have an album, but there's a producer, there's the mixing board, there's a lot of things that go into that. But when you see somebody live, you see other, you know, epics, other, parts of somebody's life, you get a bigger picture of who that person is. And think about it. If you think about reality TV, don't we like to see what's behind the curtain?
Oh, yes, we do.
We do. We do. We all want to see Kim Kardashian without her makeup on and say, oh, she's just like us. You know what I mean? So it's like, as artists, we've got to remember that the behind the curtain actually has value. Not only marketing value, because that's part of it too, but it has value in connecting one human to another. As much as we enjoy seeing somebody spectacular, the moments where we really connect with another artist as a listener is when we see how human they are.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, recently on Instagram, probably within the last month or so, there have been videos circulating of Lauryn Hill when she got booed on the Apollo show when she was rather young. And, you know, obviously she wasn't the voice that we know of and that we fell in love with on The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, you know? Mm-hmm. But there's compassion there because we knew what she was going to grow up to be.
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of feel like there's a lesson there that we artists need to remember, that you can't get to where you are now without all of the ugly stages before. And I say ugly stages, but they're not necessarily ugly stages. They're just necessary stages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we will be looking for these videos on your YouTube channel. I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah, I think I will release them every Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. Do it like an episode where we have to wait to get the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, because I found a lot.
Wow.
I found a lot. So
okay. That'll be great for us to get to know you a little bit better, because again, you know, when we see an artist who's doing really well, as Laura is doing right now, because she's going from one tour to another. As we speak, she's in the process of learning music from the next tour. Literally, when she finishes this tour that we're on right now, which finishes tomorrow, she's going to be going home and packing a bag to go back out on tour for the next year. So
actually, I don't go home.
You don't even go home. Your bags are
yeah.
Yeah.
Directly to the other.
Directly to the other. But we tend to think when somebody's already working, we forget everything that led them to there, and everything that was before was definitely necessary. Before we wrap up, I want to know, is there anything that you'd like people to know about you? Because you did mention that you were misunderstood. And I think that you have been misunderstood, rather. And I think as artists, as we all kind of have our own little moments where we feel a little weird, we feel like we're not like anybody else. We can often feel misunderstood. Is there anything that you'd like to clear up about you?
Wow, to clear up.
Or just maybe something you'd want us to know about you. I know what I would say. Where I can see that you probably are misunderstood is because you're a powerhouse singer and you have a physical stature. People think that, you're going to bulldoze over them. In fact, you're a big teddy bear.
I'm not a teddy bear. I'm a lady.
You know what I mean.
I'm a young lady. I'm not a teddy bear.
Well, by that, I mean, just such a big heart. I mean, as big as your voice is, that's how big your heart is. Your heart's even bigger. And I've seen that where, just hearing somebody sing, because when we all get together and we listen to each other, because sometimes while we're doing our makeup, we'll listen to each other's projects and support each other. And there was a moment I saw you cry and I'm like, why are you crying? She said, because I heard you and I feel like I know you. I see you. And I'm like, wow, that's something. That's something.
This song, oh la la, don't make me cry. Because your song. Oh, wow. Guys, you got to listen to it.
This is one of those projects where I put it out and at the time I wasn't proud of it. I'm proud of it now. And you can find it on Spotify. It's Monique Thomas and Voices of Praise. That is a gospel album, and it's an album that I wrote during the passing of my father, who was ill for a very, very long time. So he suffered greatly. And we had kind of a difficult relationship. And so I wrote this album, and it was a healing project for me. It was really necessary. But then when I put it out, I just wasn't proud of it. I mean, I did promote it a little bit, but very little. And then I've kind of put it away. And every once in a while, I'll go back into it, and I'm like, yo, the harmonies are tight, the melodies, the words. In fact, the music that I use for this podcast is actually from that album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
You hear people?
Yeah. So does that kind of sum up what maybe you think people misunderstand about you, that people just think that you're this big personality and that you don't have a heart? Or
maybe it's this in the, I think when you're a big girl and when you're a big black girl, and you appear to be unbreakable, and so some people will attack you because
they think you can handle it.
You can handle anything. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
The truth is, we can handle anything, but
we prefer.
Yeah, but we have to suffer a lot to. I don't know how to say it in English, but to contain.
Yeah.
A lot. Because even when you're attacked, when you're a black girl, you cannot be angry.
Oh no, because then you fall into the stereotype of the angry black woman.
Yes.
See, I told you.
Yeah, and now you're the attacker.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, what?
Like, yeah, but you attacked me. This is self-defense here.
Yeah. So please, people, be kind to one another. For real. You don't know what people went through. So just be kind, just be cool with them, even if it's an artist on the gram or on Facebook. Just be kind.
Yeah.
If you don't like the music, you don't like the dress, blah blah blah,
just keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Just know that we artists take time to pass a message to you. So just be kind. If you're not touched by the message, keep it moving. If you are, it's a good thing to share your joy with the artist, because it's rewarding.
Sure.
And so we both feel good, and so we all win at the end.
Actually, you made me think of something. Speaking about a dress, but how hideous it is for people on social media to attack somebody who's completely innocent because they're just doing their thing, right?
Yeah.
It would be like going to a store, trying on a dress, hating the dress, and writing to the company saying, this dress is trash. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, who would do that? If you don't like the dress in the store, what do? You take it off and you put it back on the rack and you keep it moving.
That's it.
And nobody gets in the crossfire. But instead, for some reason, well, I think, hurt people, that, they decide, well, since you put yourself out there, you're open for attack and I'm just going to attack you. And it really is hideous.
Yes, that's, you know what? I have a friend, that is an influencer, and, she's working in fashion industry, and, plus size fashion industry. And so, it was this week she gave some tips for, people with big, calves. Yeah. And where to buy boots and where to go to make a cut in the boot, blah blah blah.
Okay.
So the calf can
fit and look nice. Right?
Yes, and look nice. And she did that, and a woman came and said, "The boot doesn't fit you." So my friend was like, "And
now it does."
Yeah, but that's. What's your point?
I think, first of all, people get really bold when it comes to social media. They say things that they would never say in person.
Yeah, to your face.
Wouldn't have the cojones to say that in person. But also, it speaks to something else. It speaks to the idea of normalcy. Because just because this size, and this size exists, that doesn't mean that it encompasses all people, right? So there are other sizes and shapes. Because, for example, if you go to two different stores, a size 40 or whatever size in both stores won't fit the same.
Exactly.
They will not fit the same. And so we need to be inclusive because, let's face it, billions of people on the planet, everybody has to put clothes on.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to look nice. And everybody wants to feel nice. And speaking of feel nice, because really, this show is really about telling stories and helping other artists hopefully find tidbits of themselves in the solo podcast and in my guests. But I also want to share something that you helped me with that I don't even know if you realize you helped me with on this tour. When I came to this tour, with about 11 or 12 extra kilos. So I've changed several dress sizes, right? And I had my dress from before COVID, which was a size 38. Okay. And I remember seeing Gosha, our dresser, Gosha. And she's like, "Oh, I have your dress." I was like, honey. She's like, "Oh, I don't think this is going to fit." I said, "No, this is not going to fit." She said, "Oh, let's get the next size up." I said, "Honey, no, booty for days. No. This is so, 2 sizes up." And I'm like, and I came into this tour just feeling really bad about my body, ashamed and you know what? I came into this tour with a whole bunch of beautiful Black women who all had curves, every single one, and everyone dressing to the T and just being so beautiful and unique. It made me feel so much better about myself just because I realized that we are so indoctrinated with one standard of beauty. Not one of us looks like the other. We're all very different, and every single one just beautiful, beautiful. And we kind of laugh behind stage because this is the big butt tour.
Yeah.
It is the booty tour. And this sounds horrible. I don't know if I'm going to...
Even the guys, people, even the guys.
but when you're in a place where nobody looks like you, because most of the people are like around Paris, or they're at least around other Black people who have forms and shapes. I live in the country somewhere in the middle of France, and nobody looks like me and nobody got a butt like mine. So being around people that look like me, but also know how to dress, it's like, "Hey, where'd you get those jeans from? Because I know my butt won't fit in certain jeans and things like that." This may seem like a very shallow thing, but it isn't. Finding clothes that fit your body and make you look your best, and shoes that fit your calves. That's important. it's important because you want to show up in the world a certain way, and you don't want to have clothes that are, it's your right size, but you look like a curtain, or, it doesn't look right. It just doesn't make, you don't feel beautiful in it, So I wanted to thank you. And I'll also tell the other girls, because you didn't do anything particular to me, but it's just by watching how you all are. You all wear bright colors, and you're all not afraid of showing in a way that I just think is just wonderful. Just who you are, and who just, what your mama gave you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I could sit here and talk with you all day, but I know you have to get some sleep because you got a lot of work to do tomorrow. And we have our last show tomorrow. But I want to thank you so much for being a guest on this show. You're actually my first interview.
Yeah.
I hope
What's an honor?
Yeah, well, thank you. I do appreciate it. And I'll put all of the information in the notes about where we can find you, but we can definitely find Laura Nanou on Instagram. She's actually on everything. You're on TikTok, you're on YouTube. So everything will be in the notes. And take care. One last thing. What's next for you?
What's next is the Sleeman tour.
Sleeman tour, okay.
Yeah. And my next single.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
You'll keep me up to date on that?
Yes.
So we can have you back. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Laura. Love you to bits.
Love you too.
Bye.
So that was episode 4 with Miss Laura Nanou. I really hope you enjoyed listening to one artist tell her story about resilience and about healing. And hopefully you found something in her story that relates to you, so maybe you feel a little less alone. Make sure you go ahead and check out the episode notes on my website at www.moniquebthomas.com/podcast. Episode 4, you can find all of Laura's social media information and where to listen to her music. Thank you so much. And one last thing, don't forget to subscribe, and don't ever let anybody put you in a box. Musically, Monique.